the other stuff, but hey, man, like we're saying, we learning.
Let's keep going.
I'll make sure to keep track of that.
Let's keep going.
Dang. The other question I want to ask you was, I know you're super wholesale heavy, and I know I've asked you this question before, but like, why wholesale versus flip?
Just because the conversion cycle, man, is extremely quick. I mean, it takes us 15 to 45 days to close a deal, and it's also based on tolerance, right? Like if your tolerance level is high and you want to flip, then do it. Me personally, my tolerance level is not that high. I have done flips, and I can say it's not my favorite thing to do. Eventually in the future we will do flips, but we will definitely cherry pick them way better than we did the first time around. But for me, it's all about that conversion cycle and how quickly you could actually get that money into the business bank account.
Well, that makes sense, man. The conversion cycle for flipping is, it's killer, man.
Yeah.
It's so cash intensive.
Right.
Like each flip, you gotta hold $60,000 to like $100,000 in that thing, and then it's like you can't really do nothing about it. You just have to wait until it sells, and that's a lot of money at the end of the day.
Yeah, it takes a toll on you. I mean, like I said, when you don't have that high tolerance,
right?
Yeah,
that's one of the things. Like, like also like sticking to one thing, you like learn to kind of to like work through those problems.
For sure.
Like for me, I don't wholesale, so I've had to work through that problem and find like creative solutions and find ways to kind of see how much my debt's gonna go into.
Mm-hmm.
So like I feel comfortable going into like another flip, and another flip. So like kind of like you're sticking to the lane of wholesale, and you're like mastering it to the point where like I think you're learning things that you wouldn't have learned if you were doing both.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I definitely agree. I mean, would you say that you flip because you're okay with that conversion cycle when your tolerance level is high?
Well, I'm okay with it now because I've pushed through that wall. It's just a wall, and it takes time and effort and like knowledge, and just like you just got to push through that wall. And that's the thing. Like you see that wall, and you're like, it's easier to just like stick to my thing. And that's the reality. To push through a wall, it takes like a lot of momentum and energy.
Right.
And if something already has momentum, you don't want to take that momentum away and give it to something else just to get through a wall. It's like, no, like I was talking to my buddy Cam, and I was like, we can wholesale, and I can put all this money into it, but I'm gonna make what my first year, like $40K on wholesaling.
Right.
I can make that on one flip.
Right.
Like I'd rather just buy more flips because that's what I know how to do. Like versus change my lane up and start wholesaling. Like because I'll make 40K here, but I can make another 400K here if I just double my efforts.
Right. And I think that's a very common mistake in our business in real estate. I feel like the shiny object syndrome. I mean, when I started flipping, it was because I wanted to kind of put more tools in the tool belt and learn new skills, but it was premature. And then on top of that, the market shifted, so it wasn't at the right time. And yeah, I mean, we did 4 flips, 3 of them were winners. One of them we took an L on, but ultimately it was very stressful, even though 3 out of 4. So that's obviously one of the most common mistakes that people do is going towards that shiny object.
Yeah, man. And speaking of shiny objects, bro, I'm thinking about doing a wholesaling. Not gonna lie to you, bro. And the reason I'm gonna do that, and I'm not kidding, bro. Like the reason I'm gonna do it is just I was telling the team, we this quarter we can buy a flip every 2 weeks.
Right.
The problem is, where the wholesalers, the deals are just not there no more. I used to be getting 10 deals a day from wholesalers. Now I'm getting 10 deals a week.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's just ultra competitive. The market's like appreciating, so a lot of these wholesalers are risking it and just buying the flips themselves.
Right. Or
they're selling it to newbie flippers that are seeing the market go up. It's just more competitive, and I'm just not seeing the volume that I used to. That my whole business model is based on volume.
Right.
And I'm just not seeing it no more.
Right.
So to fix that, I'm doing 2 things. I'm doing my wholesale meetup, which we talked about, to help like rookie wholesalers.
Right.
because that's something that I'm also lacking.
Right.
And then another thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go direct to seller and wish me luck. After this conversation, it seems like it might hit my momentum a bit in my whole business, but I think we're in a place where we can take a hit like that.
Gotcha. And I mean, I don't think there's nothing wrong with it if you're ready for, to pick up that extra skill or business. I mean, obviously wholesaling is way different than flipping, but I mean, it's, you already have flipping kind of dialed in, and you're just kind of trying to grow your acquisitions. And I think that'd be great for you. And also, obviously the meetups that you're doing for the new wholesalers, that's going to be great for you too, man, because as I've told you in conversations in the past, you're going to get deals from those new people that you're helping out. You're teaching them, you're pouring into them, you're giving them knowledge. So deals are going to come from that way easier than deals will come from the wholesalers that are already established. And, whenever they send you a deal, you have to kind of, bid with all the other flippers in the Valley.
Right. Well, that makes sense. And I think that's like a good thing that you brought up. It's like, it's good for like me, like right now. Like if I think about it last week, there's busy days and like not busy days, but 3 days last week, I literally had nothing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like my team is like so dialed in that they just don't hit me up no more. They just take care of the problems. And sometimes I just like, I have nothing to do, man. It's like a good problem, but also like I guess it's just time to grow, I guess.
Yeah. And I think that those meetups are going to kind of spearhead you into like kind of getting recognition in your brand, even though you probably haven't thought about it that way. We're not sure if you have, but like, your brand is gonna be established because you're gonna be reaching out to the newer wholesalers.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really think too much about personal brand, but I'm open to it. I mean, right. As long as I care more about the deals, and it's more of like a game to me, like piecing a deal together, doing business. It's just like fun for me. And if personal brand is like a part of it, then so be it. Like,
right. And the way that I feel is like with flippers, more so than wholesalers, like when it comes to brand, like, having a brand doesn't necessarily mean being on the internet. Having a brand is people knowing who you are as a flipper, right? Because as the buyer, people should know who you are and what you do. And I think that's exactly what you're doing with holding those meetups, even though it isn't, online heavy or whatever it may be.
That's I didn't think about it like that. I think you're right. I think like the main outcome of like hosting like a meetup for newbies is to like increase like brand awareness to these new guys, and just like being like top of mind when it comes to like locking up a deal.
Yeah, absolutely top of mind, because when I first started wholesaling, I mean, the buyers who I would gravitate to instantly were the ones who were being open with me and giving me advice or helping me out when I had a question. So, we know brand to be, what's on the internet or what people put out there. But, at that point, who they were to me was their brand. Hey, that buyer is a nice guy. He is open with me. He pours into me whenever he has a chance. And I think that's what you have a chance of doing by, holding these meetups and giving knowledge to these new wholesalers that may not have done any deals and they're just trying to get started.
That's interesting. Well, one of the things I didn't want them doing is hitting me up, but now that you're talking about it, I guess I could make time for it. But I'm gonna tell them like, hey, you can only hit me up from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. because I don't work before that and I don't work after that.
Right.
And I apologize, but you gotta respect my personal time.
Absolutely.
I think I'm gonna drop that because like I don't mind helping them. I just don't like people hitting me up like on my downtime, because I keep that time like special to me, my family, my friends, stuff like that. So
absolutely. Or get a second number. I better pay for itself. Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, for sure.
Second number? I thought about that.
Yeah.
Dang. Well, we've been chatting it up a bit, but I kind of want to get into some of these questions that I think would make good reels. Mm-hmm. And also, like, these are the ones that I'm most interested in also. So you've been wholesaling here in Las Vegas, and like your main method of marketing is SMS or like texting. Mm-hmm. Like, why do you think texting for marketing is like the best?
Yeah, so I actually tried it all before doing SMS. I tried mailers, I tried cold calling, and then finally I tried SMS. And for me, SMS worked because I am not the most social person. So when I was cold calling, it wasn't working out, man, like at all. Like it takes a toll on you. And SMS, once I started doing it, it took me a while, but I figured it out. And ultimately, when you think about it, well, in my opinion, when you're marketing, what you want is ultimately people to tell you yes or no. And with SMS, you get way more of those yeses and nos than you do with cold calling. And when I started, my business, 2 or 3 years ago, people used to say, okay, well, you need to also cold call to get a hold of the people who don't have cell phones and they have landlines. But I mean, in this day and age today, how many people really actually have landlines?
1 out of 1,000.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I do see the validity in, calling somebody because maybe they won't respond to a text. But in my opinion, if you text them enough, they're going to respond.
Interesting. Well, that's a great answer. Okay. That's what I wanted to hear. And next part is how can someone get started, like wholesaling by marketing SMS, like step by step? Like, let's say like your first 90 days. If someone wanted to start marketing and wholesaling with SMS, what does their first 90 days look like?
Okay, so their first 90 days. So I'll pretty much tell you what me and my wife did when we first started the business. Okay. So, we got a whole bunch of knowledge, free knowledge from YouTube. We started driving for dollars. We got a deal machine subscription. I don't know, at the time it was like $50. Not sure, don't remember. But we just started driving for dollars. And for those that don't know, driving for dollars is pretty much, driving around and pretty much notating the properties in the area that look ugly, have high grass, boarded up. Something is wrong with those houses, pretty much. They're ugly. And we started driving for dollars. And then after that, you can do SMS. And SMS is very, very cheap compared to all the other marketing resources out there. And you just start messaging people. And, you're gonna gather a whole bunch of no's, but it's all about that those yeses that you get from the SMS's response, and any positive response that you get from SMS, you call those people, you get them on the phone as quick as possible, and you try to qualify them.
Interesting. So basically, you got a list by driving for dollars. So you're looking for distressed properties.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then from there, you chose to market to them with SMS versus like cold calling or mailers or anything like that.
Right.
But why drive for dollars versus like buying a list? Is that just the way you did it, or like, would you recommend someone do that, or would you recommend someone buy a list to start?
Well, to start off, the thing is you want the highest chance of getting your first deal. And there is no better list than a list of properties that you visually qualified that look in distressed, right? Because if the property looks in distress, then that tells you a lot about the nature of that owner, right? Or, what possible situation they may be. So to answer your question, a driving for dollars list is going to be better probably than any other list that you can get, because it's going to be extremely targeted and it's going to be already stamped, distress by your eyes.
Interesting. Well, I never thought of that. I've drove for dollars before, and dude, it takes forever.
Yeah. And I mean, you think about I think about 95% of the properties that I've wholesaled. When I go to them on the appointment, I'm like, okay, I definitely would have tagged this property.
Oh, really?
You know what I mean? So that there's a visual sign that person is usually in distress. There's always a visual sign for the most part. So driving for dollars is very important.
Wow, I never thought of that.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good knowledge, man. I mean, I never thought of those things. Like in my head, I already put driving for dollars like in the dumpster, like in the trash.
Yeah.
But that's cool, man. I mean, that's really helpful, especially for like the new guys that don't know like where to start.
Right. And right. Your question was new guy.
New guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Once you grow and you get your deals, that's when you start buying data and such. But to start off, driving for dollars, where's that?
Got it. And I already asked you this question, so I got one more question for you that I can think of right now. And I think this one's probably like the most important one.
Mm-hmm.
So, what about real estate? Are you most passionate about?
I kind of developed a passion for, kind of helping people. And I know it's kind of cliche because everybody says it, but I mean, it's the truth. When you first get into this business, it's usually because you want to make money, and then after you make money, or while you're making money, you come across some heavy and deep situations that people are going through. And, I developed a passion for it. I mean, in my business, we say, problem finders, solution providers. And it's true, and usually most good wholesalers have something around that, because if you don't find problems, you're not going to make money in wholesaling. In order to make money, you need to find problems and then provide solutions to those problems. And I guess, some situations just kind of hit home and you kind of take them, personally, finding, hearing somebody's situation and, trying to help them out. And I know there's, some people have a wrong outlook on the wholesaling business. Some people say that you're taking advantage of a seller. That's not true. We're providing a lot of value in the marketplace, and we're helping a lot of people out of tough situations.
I agree, man. That was a great answer. I was not expecting that. Yeah. But dang, dude. So like problem finders, solution providers.
Yep.
Damn, that's deep. Well, that's all I got, man. Yeah. I like to keep it pretty short. I hope it came out right. I'm still new at this, so it could be like totally botched. But at the end of the day, at least we had a good conversation about it,
bro.
And we do have time. I want to end it short because I want to start. Also want to start doing. I know you're not prepared, but I'm gonna start doing like asking people like, hey, do you want to make like real content, and I can like chop it up for you and send it over.
Okay.
So is there anything like you? Because I know like kind of like teaching like any topics that you want to teach like real quick, like real style, we can record them for you. I mean, it's like good audio, good lights, like good cameras, and we can record it for you. You can just send it over.
I mean, it's up to you. I mean, whatever I say, you can use it. I mean, so it's up to you. You can actually.
No, I want something for you because you came, so I feel like I want to give something to you because you gave me your time. You know what I mean?
It's fine with me, bro. You ask me any questions and you can use it. It's up to. It's really up to you. I'm here and I'm here to give you value and provide some knowledge so that you can go ahead and get as much content as you can to post.
I got you dropped some nuggets, bro. So yeah. I definitely have a lot, but
for sure.
Yeah, maybe I'll tell you ahead of time next time, so you can come up with like some. Because it's a little bit different when like we're talking to each other versus when you're looking at the camera. Like when you're looking at it content wise, like it does feel different.
Yeah, because you know what kind of to go for. And
yeah. So like, do you make content like that where you talk at the camera? I don't think I've seen you post.
I haven't, but I want to. It's just, and to be quite honest with you, I was gonna start, but then my wife got pregnant, and that was a whole different ball game. So,
you want to record some stuff right now?
I mean, I don't even know what to talk about.
Here's a pen and paper, bro. We got 12 minutes.
12 minutes?
Yeah, think of some ideas and we'll get it recorded, bro.